Hey, good morning. So I actually really slept in today. Someone else's alarm clock went off at, I think, 5:15, and I've just left now at 5:47 or something. So really late for when I wasn't forced to leave late. But I was having a lot of interesting dreams. Unfortunately, the alarm clock brought me out of them, so I don't know what they were. But I'm glad I woke up because I prefer, as you know, to get the early start, to walk when it's still dark and cool. It's only 10 degrees, and short walk today, as you know. And here's just a little bit of the town. There's a little bit of the church. It seems like there are a few churches. I've seen at least 3, so I'm not sure if they're all in use or if they're different denominations or what. But yeah, I think that's everything. Too late to talk to the stars this morning because they've already been hidden away by the impending dawn. But I will still get to see sunrise. And, yesterday wasn't like too spectacular in terms of, the beauty of the surroundings. It was a lot of like cityscape kind of things in the background, sort of industry and electrical lines. So I'm curious to see what it's going to be today. And, I had to pop my blister a second time yesterday. I guess I did it too high, so there's a tip. Always pop it down at the bottom so it drains all the way out. So I think maybe I hadn't drained everything out. And second time I did it towards the bottom. This morning I took more homeopathy as a just in case against infection, and I put more tea tree oil on it. It's still got the plaster on it, but I've only got one pair of socks, hopefully to avoid rubbing. And it's a little bit sensitive while I'm walking, but I think it's actually less than when the blister was there. And definitely when I was walking without shoes in the house, I couldn't feel it at all. So I think it was definitely a good move to do that. And yeah, I'll be in touch again when there's something more to see. Can you see it? The back of that sign in the shadows? It almost looks like one of the shells we wear. So you can see dawn coming there over the horizon, just starting. Beautiful orange wisps just reaching up over the horizon. More cars. I just wanted to show you, they've got these, I guess it's on aqueduct, because I think an aqueduct is raised, but they've got these, little canals all over the place. So servicing all the farms. It's really fantastic. It's a great plan. And as you can see, dawn is in full pink mode. There's even, you probably can't see it, there's even an airplane, the trail of the airplane. I'm not sure if that's called a chemtrail or if that's part of the theory, but there's that trail from the airplane, and it's even pink. Just like dawn. So whatever's happening up there, whatever's going on chemical-wise, it's that high up as well. But a lot of trees now, but it's still very lovely. Oh, and look at that. We've got some hills in the distance. I know at some point I've got to climb, but it's after Lyon. So that's kind of why I'm looking forward to mailing back my heavy things. Well, I have one heavy thing, my iPad, mailing that back today. And I heard there's an alternative. There's a guy who keeps things for travelers. If they find, they don't want to mail it back, but they don't want to travel with it either. And I've got his name and address now. So that's a really lovely thing as well. And, but yeah, before I climb those hills or mountains, whatever they are, I'm hoping that I'll have less weight and happy heels. So lovely. You can't read that sign yet, but it says free rest area. The Spanish people are so lovely. They really are. Just friendly, warm, just wonderful. Buenos días. Just gorgeous people. And there, that sunrise proper. There would have been a nice picture before. It was pale yellow, but there were all of the electrical lines and things in front of the sun, and I didn't think that would be such a beautiful view, so I didn't take a photo. This is a beautiful little rest area for pilgrims. There's the scallop shell on this fountain and the benches in the shade. It's just lovely. Hey, so we've been walking for 2 hours, and this is the last town we go through before Leon. Acajuega, I think it said. And it's another one of these towns that looks completely desolate, bereft of people. But I'm guessing it's just like everybody really shutters up at the night. Every window, every door. So it looks abandoned, but it's probably not. I mean, it's still quite early for Spain. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. So I've probably got another cute little play area. I've probably got another hour and a half of walking before I hit Leon. I forgot to check the kilometers, how far Acajuega is. I just saw that it's the last town. But yeah, I'm guessing if I'm still walking at around 5 kilometers an hour, then 1 more hour will have me at 15, and Leon is 18.7. So I'm guessing around an hour and a half still to go. And yeah, one last look, and then I'll see you later. One very brief look at the countryside before the buildings start again. And interesting, there's a Camino sign saying left, and this pilgrim in front of me started to follow it, and then he came back out again. So it must lead through those buildings. I'm gonna check my app map and see what it says. So what I can see is that the signs for the Camino would have led us through that little town, and it would have been flat. But the app map said to go this way, and you can see there's a yellow arrow on this little hut as well, so it's definitely an OG path. And it's uphill, so it's not too bad. It's all right. It's not too late in the morning. It's not too hot. I'm still okay. But I think in the end, this is nicer than going through the town. But that's possibly the path that would have led us back up to this path. Yeah, I'm guessing that definitely is it. So this was just a bit straighter, even if it was a little bit up. And I've got a bit of a steeper up ahead. A lot of ups there. I've got a steeper climb just ahead, but I still think it won't be too bad. So that's kind of the view. There's a bit of like dry plants. It's a little bit like a little deserty. I definitely saw some gorse though. And looks like there's a house there. I'm not sure if this is all still part of that town that the white guy, I think it was called, or if this is like the outer industrial area of Leon. I'm not really sure. Leon, as far as I understand it, is a very big city. So, yeah, this might just be the industrial outskirts. I see something carrocerias leonesas. So, I'm not sure what that means. Maybe a car manufacturing plant or something. And yeah, these are probably like suburbs of Leon. But it's such a big town. I'm sure it's not like that small collection of houses up ahead on the hill. I'm pretty sure it's got to be a lot bigger than that. I don't even think it's those over there. Got to be more. Anyway, I'm probably at least a half hour, if not 45 minutes away still from getting there. Although there are a bunch more houses over there. You probably can't see them. Anyway, we'll see. I've got my reservation, so I'm quite happy. See you later. Now that is a good view of Leon for sure. A big sprawling city. So all of this is, like I thought, just the outskirts. And I'm crossing this bridge, and then I'll continue on, see if my finger can show it, on that path there. All the way into Leon. So this is Leon proper. And it goes like way over there as well. I'm not sure how much of that is still Leon. It might be some other kind of outskirts, but all of this major city is Leon. And I'm pretty sure that my albergue is right on the Camino, thank goodness, because trying to navigate through a big city like this makes me a little bit insane. I'm German kid. And yeah. Anyway, it looks like we're getting close. So I knew it as I was coming into town. There's something about Leon that I really like. And it's 8:45, so 3 hours now walking, and I probably have another 10 or 15 minutes till I'm at the albergue. And usually in the big cities, people don't say hello anymore. It's just, you know, the smaller towns and villages, everybody says hello and buen camino and everything. But here so far, everybody I've passed has said either hola or buenos dias, and almost everyone has a smile. So yeah, there's something special about this place. I think, yeah, I just feel like it's a nice place to be. So I'm here, and I'm super grateful that Check-in Leon has an unlocked door, so you can just come in and wait inside. There's a really lovely reception area, and I could use the bathroom. So I'm not sure when the official reception starts, but I'm just super psyched to be here. It's 9:05, so about 3 hours, 20 minutes to get here, and it feels kind of warm out, but I'm guessing it's probably only like 13 or so, and I'm just gonna have something to eat while I wait to check in. See you later. Look, I have to show you guys this. We can make a little cave, so there are curtains Look at how high apart the beds are. You can sit really comfortably. God, I wish this could be like this at every single one. Look at that. Wow. You get total privacy. Oh, that's so nice. I'm so excited to sleep here. Hey, so Google just had me walk for a half hour down the highway. I kept thinking it can't be, but there must be a pathway somewhere. But no, there was no pathway. So it was completely along the highway.
Walk south.
And yeah, it was just pretty insane. Not one of my most calm moments, one of my most calm half hours. And I'd gone all the way out to Decathlon to try and get some merino wool little pads to go between my toes to keep them dry. So after I drained the blister, so now it's just about keeping it clean and dry. And all the way out there, half hour out there, and they don't have them. And yeah, so now I'm half hour all the way back. But I also did stop at a pharmacy and I got some, I wanted to get Vaseline, but they only had a giant tube, so I just got something from Compeed, which is like a rub-on stick kind of thing, but it's meant for the blisters. So hopefully that'll work out. And I got an empanada, which is like it's like a pie. So it's it was vegetables, was all vegan, and they were there's a breading at the bottom and a breading at the top. And that's I have to watch out at these zebra crossings because a lot of the people here see them as optional, so they don't necessarily stop.
Your destination is on the right.
And I don't know if you can hear the Google lady in the background. She's still talking, telling me where to go. Yeah, so it was an 18.7 kilometer day, but with all the walking I've done, it's over 24 kilometers. I checked earlier. And so big day. And I also sent off my iPad. Oh, it was very scary for me because I had to send it through regular mail. And I had wanted to send it through UPS, but it turned out that the UPS was only if you have access to a printer and can print everything out ahead of time, which of course I couldn't. And then I went to the Correos, the public mail service, and sent it back. And then on the way back I found a GLS, which is a different kind of shipping company, and they had an office where they could have done everything right there. So I was feeling very distraught because that would have been like a super secure way to send it back. And through the mail is not really secure for me. I did send it registered and insured, but it's still very scary because I haven't even paid it off yet. I'm still paying that off. It's gonna take all year. So it's been a weird day, but the experience allowed me to, at the impetus and the suggestion from my daughter, it did allow me to do some very precise reflection as to where these emotions were coming from. And so that's actually been quite helpful. And earlier this morning I was also doing some emotional questioning work on relationships when you're trying to make amends, but the other person is just not open for that. And then it's kind of your job to say, okay, well, take your time. I'm here whenever you are ready to talk about it. But it's really hard when you keep offering an olive branch And I know that like sometimes, you know, you have to accept that things just aren't going to get better. But when it's a really close relationship, it's just not, you know, it's not something you want to just cut off, you know. And so, yeah, so I had some good thinking with that. Good processing. And what I did, you might remember if you watched any of the other videos, then you might have seen one where I talked about mother love and father love, and where you welcome the emotion in whichever one is, you know, or experience. I think I was talking about arrogance at the time and maybe something else. And you see it, that's the father love. You see it at the gate or at the doorway. And then so you first have to see. And then you welcome it in, that's the mother love. And so I took that feeling, because it's a really hard feeling to have when you really want to make amends with someone and they're not open to it. It feels really hurtful and really awful. And so I saw that image of myself, and she was a very tortured, sad, bleeding person. And I welcomed her in just the way she was. And I saw her, I welcomed her, and I welcomed her into this cave that I've talked about before, this cave in my heart, where everybody's welcome, where all the different me's are welcome. And we sit around a fire, we're all brothers and sisters, and we help each other, or talk to each other, or listen to each other. And so this very, very sad, tortured soul was in there as well. And she was welcomed in. And after that, it felt good, because before I did that ritual in my mind, and in my heart, I thought, how on earth can I wait for years and years, you know, for someone to be ready? But I feel okay now. And similar with this, you know, sending off the packet and missing the GLS store, and it brought up feelings of inadequacy and, you know, acting rashly, not thinking things through, and how that's not a particularly clever way to be. And the thing is, as human beings, we all need love. If we don't have love, we don't survive. And we know that. All of us know that at a very fundamental level. And if anything seems to threaten that, that's when our defenses come up. And so essentially, I began to, through, as I said, the impulse of my daughter, I began to see that this, you know, is a pattern involving fear of, as I said, inadequacy, of not measuring up, of not being smart enough, good enough, any of those things. And when you're not those things, then, you know, you don't get the love. And if you don't get the love, you die. So that's where all the sadness, I think, was coming from. And it does feel really good to understand that. Not that I have to understand absolutely everything. I was just with it for quite a while, you know, just sitting with it and feeling that sadness. And that's okay. But in order for the pattern not to consistently repeat itself, then it behooves us to ask a few questions now and again. And so I did, and that feels better. So it's been a very eventful day, inwardly and outwardly, especially with this crazy walk back. And but I really love this albergue where I am. I think I mentioned that it's got these great little private cave-like beds, so I'm super excited to go to sleep tonight. and yeah, I'm another 3.5 kilos lighter, so altogether that's 11 kilos I've sent back. That's kind of a lot. And I'm hoping, I think my backpack itself probably weighs 2 kilos on its own, but I'm hoping that 3.5 kilos is going to make a lot of difference in my long walks, because I've got 2 long walks, 26 kilometers tomorrow and then 29. So let's hope that it was, you know, useful doing that today. And I've also surrounded my package with white light, and I'm hoping that it's going to get back to Scotland just fine. All right then, I'll see you guys the next time.